A'udzubillahiminasyaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURUL Solehah binti Muhammad Rafi, matric number 1191781. InsyaAllah, today me and my friends NURUL and NATASHA binti AZMAN, matric number 1191771, and NAJIHAH binti NASRON, matric number 1192747, will evaluate an infographic that we have chosen, which mainly shown about the cyber security. Without further ado, let's look at the infographic. Our infographic is entitled Cybersecurity Strengthen US Manufacturers. From the first side, we can see that this title of infographic really represents the infographic itself, as when we look at it comprehensively, we can clearly see that the design and the content of this infographic are both related to the cybersecurity. To be specified about its general view about the user interface design, such as the color, the text, or the font size, the arrangement of visual and layout, my friend NAJIHAH will give a further evaluation. And after that, my other friend NURUL and NATASHA will give a general view about the content of this infographic, whether it provides statistics, references, and other aspects that are needed in an infographic. So, let's proceed with the user interface design first.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is NAJIHAH binti NASRON, matric number 1192747. General view about the user interface design. First and foremost, the use of color. Infographic use the different colors that show a stark contrast between the item with the other item, such as infographic use 5 color in different shade of cycle. The infographic take text color into consideration when choosing infographic colors. Blue text on the white background is readability to other reader, include colorblind people. It can make it easier for reader to see where the infographic begins. On the others, infographic use the blue colors as much as possible for touch on an issue. Because the color evoke certain emotions and there is no harm in taking advantage of their existing connotation. Blue and red color are thought to show stability and trust, such as this infographic. Blue goes well with cyber issue. In addition, infographic use red color for warming terms. Besides, illustration in infographic use mesh tone like blue and white. The color on the image are consistent with the infographic's color theme. Secondly, the use of text of font size. The font used in infographic are considered more formal and do not use decorate fonts. Then the infographic use bold font for headlines and section of the infographic they want to draw the most attention to, such as number of percent. Besides, headers and subheader have a large font that the rest of the infographic. In addition, readability in description of the subtopic that is visible on a laptop may be difficult to decipher on a smartphone because of size fonts. Thirdly, the arrangement of visuals. The infographic use icon to replace word description. Icon use simple, easy to understand, and universal. Correct icon used in infographic is distanced by the ability of the graphic designer needing little to no words to explain what the object represents. Besides, illustration use mesh subject matter relate with the issues. Last but not least, how it display the task. Infographic use cycle shape to describe the step to reduce cyber risk. It is easier to reader to understand and remember the step. Then it use mind map icons to explain the section, such as in term, common type of attack, and breach. It make reader understand without read much description.
Hi, my name is NURUL AINATUL binti AZMAN, matric number 1191771. Regarding the content views, first of all, the content organized coherently to prompt notice that the actual context of the infographic to readers or viewers. This infographic illustrates data with present statistic in the numerical percentage of breaches and cyber attack that happen in human life as the graphical element to indicate the data and statistic. There are icons used in the infographic to simplify complex context of what cybersecurity can do and create awareness of cyber attacks and threat, with labels of every icons to keep readers engaged. The choice of colors and fonts used to visibly track readers to differentiate some particular content in the infographic, like using the contrast of blue and red with the font design, while a system to brisk reading with the mixed graphical representation. It also included references or authorities like the MEP National Network and putting their contact and website to help readers reach them in case they have questions for further information regarding this infographic. And lastly, the facts shown in the infographic are correct and honest representation, such as the definition, the illustrated statistic, types of attacks and breaches, and the steps to reduce cyber risks. It keeps the integrity of information for infographic representation, so readers will not have misinformation issues regarding the matters. Overall, this infographic helps readers to easily remember the intended content, since it displays in less contextual reading and with some graphical image as an indicator.
Alright, as we already done evaluating both user interface design and the contents of this infographic, now it is time to rate. Overall, we all agree that this infographic have a much more positive remark and criticism rather than a bad criticism, which eventually shown that this is a good infographic. It has a good design, while the contents are very informative and easy to be extract or retrieve. Therefore, we rate this infographic a 4 out of 5. The only comment about this infographic is related to its typography, focusing on the font size. We suggest that it use a bigger font size, as we noticed that it is quite hard to read the context without the need to zoom in onto the text. Jay Hanna, a contributor at Career Foundry, said that typography is the art of arranging letters and text in a way that makes the copy legible, clear, and visually appealing to the reader, meaning that we must make it easier for the reader to perceive the content that we have put out. Hence, the font size is matter, as it impacts the readability and the legibility of the text. Thus, it needs to be big enough for users to read the text without strain. On a final note, we would like to express that having the ability to develop and design the infographic is beneficial, yet having the ability to distinguish between the good and bad infographic as well is also essential in order to save our time. We hope that this presentation will help others to start thinking and evaluating any infographic or any content that they want to use, so that they will save their time and choose the best sources. I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching, and Assalamualaikum.